welcome to the playoffs. Interesting how they hit the center ice.
Absolutely. I was just going to say the same thing. The light's better out here. I can see what we're doing. We're the center of the show. Get the other guys off the ice and let...
While we were away, Jim McMillan found himself a colored Easter egg and pounded on it. It belongs to Rob Giffen.
Number 6 for the Generals, McMillan celebrating his 18th birthday today.
And what better way to celebrate than feeding someone knuckles for a while?
And he's actually going up against Barney. You mentioned it, Gord. He's got a playing cast on his wrist.
Here's what happened.
McMillan and Barney into a scrum. Giffen will come in and get things stirred up as well in a moment. I thought he and Brian Allen were going to go at it. Actually, you're right, that is beating on Giffen there.
Ooh. Looks like he was starting a lawnmower there.
Tell you what, Giffen is a real hard rock player in the Ontario Hockey League. He's a real agitator.
He's got a tarantula on his head, too.
He's also got an interesting haircut.
Wow. They say the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut is 3 weeks. How about 3 months? I like him. Hall's game against Drummondville. That game was down in Drummondville. Ooh, look at Colley take a whack at his man. He was bumping there with Wade Daw. Now put back to the point to catch us in it. We've got ourselves a fight. We got ourselves a beat. It's Wade Daw and Kevin Colley. Oh my goodness. Oh, these kids, they do love to tussle, don't they? Oshawa leads Peterborough 3-0. For Brandon Coulter. Tripp's now tied up there with Justin Norwood. Gives him a glove to the back of the head. Brandon Coulter gives him a shot. And now the shot goes right on for McNeil. Now Tripp gave a shot to McMahon. Cam Mann wanted nothing to do with that. And we've got pushing and shoving in the corner. Oh my, Coulter just hammered Cam Mann. And look out, we've got a Donnybrook. Coming for about a minute.
Brandon Coulter, number 10 for the Oshawa Generals, laid his man out. And as soon as he did that, the captain of the Peterborough Petes got a big headlock on Coulter and threw him to the ice. With Mike Martone, Bolingbroke's defense partner, who got absolutely leveled by Coulter, and now
we got more coming. McNeil's tied up with Justin Norwood. Ian McNeil's in there. Cam Mann's in there. Brian Allen's in there. And John Tripp has a hold of Robert Brand, number 39. They won't go, but Norwood just might. .107 to play in the third period. And tempers boil over here. Cam Mann took the worst of it. He really got dumped. Ian McNeil still talking it over with Kevin Bolingbroke. Wow. And we may get more here before they're done. John Tripp is anxious to get going with somebody. And Mann skated by and said something to him.
Both teams have to be very careful here. A minute and 7 left in the game. Referee Dave Lynch has the notepad out. That's always a bad sign.
He's not writing traffic tickets. Ian McNeil's going off. They're going to get John Tripp off the ice. Even though he didn't do much, they're just going to make sure he's not around to the end of the game. A penalty-filled game tonight, and it all boils over here with a minute and 7 to go when Cam Mann gets hammered by Brandon Coulter. And they'll be able to take team pictures in the penalty box. Here's how it happened, Bob.
Oshawa was coming off a tremendous shift, cycling down low, really doing a job on the Petes. Martone's got the puck, and Mann's running interference there a little bit, and Coulter comes in, pans down Mann, and then Bolingbroke jumps in, to the rescue of their star player.
Oh, now the benches are starting to have conversations. Oshawa and Peterborough benches starting to jaw back and forth. Now remember, in the regular season, Oshawa coach Bill Stewart threw a stick at one of the Peterborough players.
White Knight, that's for sure. And even in the minors, the Hershey Bears, the Flyers affiliate, Neil Little got into a battle with the goaltender. I'm sorry, the Phantoms are the Philadelphia affiliate, obviously, and got into a battle with the Hershey Bears goaltender. And Neil Little really did a job and then said thank you very much afterward.
Worrell without his helmet. Oh, he got a stick up on Kola Giacomo, and they start fencing. And Worrell has a thing or two to say to the Oshawa bench on the way by. Time winding down, and the Hull Olympics have won their tournament opener, and now Worrell is exchanging punches with Jason Schweitzer. That would be a mismatch. Adam Kola-Giacomo gets into it with Colin White. That would be a mismatch. And so in comes Brian Allen to provide some muscle, and all this happening in front of the Oshawa bench with all the time off the clock, and it's starting to get nasty down there now. Jeff Ware is trying to pull somebody out of there, anyone. Worrell and Schweitzer are eyeing each other up. Worrell is 7 inches taller than Jason Schweitzer. Kola-Giacomo's down there. He's tied up with Marty Johnson. And Jeff Ware is chatting it over at center ice. He might want to drop the mitts, but thinks better of it. And Hull celebrates an 8-0 win over the Oshawa Generals. Hull goes to Wrigley. Travis Wrigley lost it there, and here comes Jonathan DeLille breaking in. DeLille's got Johnson with him. DeLille, in front, score! Jonathan DeLille jumps in there after scoring the goal. And he's got more than enough feistiness left over. What an effort by DeLille.
All that happened is Wrigley took the big splash on him as DeLille went right around Travis Wrigley. Wrigley went back after him, and DeLille went after him. You're going to see here, right here, on the back side, you see them talking about it now. And right here, that's Travis Wrigley with the puck. DeLille just sort of outmans him, and watch DeLille go to the front of the net. He'll take it all the way down and follow this through, guys. There's the goal. Here's the splash here. DeLille and Wrigley go at it.
What an effort for the shorthanded goal by Jonathan DeLille. Now he and Wrigley get tied up. I don't think I've ever seen a player go straight from scoring and go into the penalty box, but Damarski tees it up. That's to Josephson. Can't get the shot away. And now a penalty called in front. Descoteaux is pushing and shoving, and Kirby Law is throwing the Jacks right back at him. Dale Purinton's out there too, and keep an eye on him. I don't think he'll scrap the guys with him now, little Marty Johnson, but Purinton is lingering dangerously in front of the Hull goal.
Well, Kirby Law, there was going to be a penalty called by referee Stefan Augier. I think it was going to be closing the hand on the puck. But that was way before all of this broke out.
Law still wanting a piece of Eric Noe, and now they're scrapping.
Well, Eric Noe figures he better get his gloves off, as Law already has his off.
Hey, Eric Noe fought the Law. I think Noe won. I don't think the Law won that time. Eric Noe, a draft pick of the Boston Bruins, a third rounder in '96, and he'll have something to say as he goes off. Now the unfortunate part for him is he has to go to the dressing room. He'll to come back on the ice to celebrate the Memorial Cup. Kirby Law heads off. 2:02 to play in the third period.
It's players like...
And, oh, man, has Hull gone to work here? Although the power play has not been much of a factor. It's 5-0 Hull. And now we got another scrap. This is Kirby Law, and he's going with Francis Belanger. And now Law able to get Belanger's helmet off. In the Western League, it's kind of an unwritten rule. You take your helmet off. That time, Law had to help Belanger with his. And Belanger has a bad shoulder.
It was Belanger that went after Chris Phillips. And this started right off the face-off. They must have had words.
Now Law gets a couple of hands in there, and Belanger answers back.
Kirby Law is only 165 pounds, and seems to be holding his own.
60 penalty minutes in the playoffs, and Law gets the last shot in. Score the draw. And with 3:37 to go in the period, they'll head to their respective dressing room. Here's Byron Ritchie, the second leading scorer in the Western League, setting it up on the power play. The extra penalty goes to Francis Belanger. Now knocked down in front is Hohenberger. Loose puck there. Willis with a shot. That's blocked. A penalty coming up to Hull. And I believe Hohenberger, who is knocked down by Colin White. And now are these two going to go? They've got the gloves off. And away they go. This first period is approaching the 1 hour mark.
Colin White still has his helmet on, and so Hohenberger's staying low underneath his arm.
Oh, that shot knocked the helmet off in a hurry, and the two of them go at it. Now White gets a couple of shots in at the end, and we're going to go over the 50-minute mark for penalties, I believe, here in the third period. And this, to be quite honest with you, is turning a little comical.
Claude Julien had been to the Memorial Cup before in '94 as an assistant coach with Hull, and they felt that they were not tough enough.
Here comes Christian Dubé, has his stick knocked out of his hands by Demarsky, and Dubé looks back to the official for a penalty, but in this rare instance, one isn't called. Now Shane Willis back to get it. Final seconds of this period. Willis takes a bump from Demarsky and is able to clear it up. Now Etienne Demarsky, and here we go. This is Eric Noe and Dale Purinton, and Purinton wants to make sure his hair is nice and neat. And away we go. The period is over.
Now Purinton's lined up, but he's going to throw left.
Someday, here we go. And they look like they're going to start lawnmowers here, and Purinton showed him left, and now he's throwing righty. Dale Purinton is one tough customer. Ooh. And the linesman might want to jump in on this one because that's getting a little one-sided. And sure enough, they jump in. Dale Purinton has a dramatic size advantage on Eric Noe, and looks like he knows what he's doing with his fists. Over 60 minutes in penalties in an opening period that took 60 minutes to play. 5-0. Cup goal-scoring record could be very much in jeopardy. Pat Falloon scored 8 in the 1991 Memorial Cup. And look out, here we go. Mike O'Grady and Peter Worrell are throwing punches. And these are two Florida Panther prospects going at it. O'Grady's a tough customer, so is Worrell.
Well, O'Grady had the most penalty minutes on Lethbridge. Worrell, obviously, with 470 plus at the most.
He led the free world, and now O'Grady gets Worrell's helmet up, and they're throwing big-time bombs right in front of the Lethbridge bench. And these guys might be roommates in a future training camp, but right now, they're feeding each other knuckles. Oh, look out. Mike O'Grady with a little hot dogging on his way to the bench. Gives the V for victory sign. And Worrell and O'Grady have a thing or two to say to each other. And what's interesting about that, Ryan, is that O'Grady switched sides to get to Worrell before the draw.
And the reason he could was that the referee moved the centerman, the Lethbridge centerman, out right here. Look at this. You can see that he was, Demarsky was kicked out of the face-off, and that allowed the switch to happen. Watch here, Demarsky's out, and this is O'Grady that comes over to Worrell, and that's when the sparks happen.
And right off the draw, I mean, right off the draw, they went.
So referee Stéphane Auger might not kick out any more of his centerman off the face-off.
By the way, the last goal was...
As he took it with his blocker and deflected it high over the net. Now the play goes back the other way. Chris Cava being checked by Galbraith. Puts it off the side of the Majors net. Dangerously out in front. Now it's cleared to center. Now we've got a scrap happening in back of the Toronto goal. Chris Cava just laying it to Lance Galbraith as these two tangle. Chris Cava, the young rookie for the St. Michael's Majors, throwing a series of left hands. Now he's got his jersey over his head. He pulls Galbraith's jersey over. Now he's completely tied up. These two fighters still going at it. Now they've gone all the way from the back of the Majors net to the circle. Now Cava takes a solid right from Galbraith, and the linesman will step in to stop this one. But that was a true heavyweight bout. Now joined by me in the booth here is Mike Keenan. Hey, Mike, bring back any memories?
Well, we've seen a little bit of this before, but I think it was a great opportunity that St. Michael's had the 2-on-1 rush, and of course the fight broke out. I think that Mark Napier was looking for something from his...
Cava thinks about teeing it up from the point, put it off a leg as Kingston comes back on transition. Now we've got a fight happening as Chris Cava is going toe-to-toe with DJ Miracle behind the play. This happening down at the blue line as Kingston was coming out of the zone. Cava has Miracle tied up along the boards. Both fighters trying to get their fists free as Miracle tries to throw some uppercuts.
DJ Miracle is the penalty leader for the Kingston Frontenacs with 84 minutes this year, so he is their designated tough guy.
And a lot of players knew that when Chris Cava came into the Ontario Hockey League, even in his rookie season, that he was capable of throwing a few as the linesmen step in to break it up. Conveniently located in front of the penalty box.
A pair of 17-year-olds battling it out. A couple of OHL rookies establishing their tough guy credentials early in the young OHL season.
And they didn't have far to skate in order to get... Batten will drop it in back of his own goal for Cannon. Gives it away for Laceby. His shot and a save by Batten as he covers up. And now Cava going one-on-one with Laceby, and now they're going to drop the gloves, and they're going to go full out on this one. So Cava now, for the second time, finds himself in a pretty major scrap here as he finds himself throwing a lot of punches at Mike Laceby, who is the 7th round draft pick of the Detroit Red Wings.
Chris Cava in fighting form this afternoon here at St. Michael's Arena, the 17-year-old rookie defenseman for the Majors, and a player who they hope figures large in their future.
And as we clear things up here, we'll take a break with the score. Kingston 2, St. Michael. As Kingston will clear it down the ice. Chris Allen doing the honors this time. Batten drops it off in back of the net for Galacci. Falls on the play, gives it away to Mailloux. He scores! And now we're going to have a fight after the goal after Rob Mailloux just undressed the St. Michael's Majors. Corey Batten flinging the puck down the ice in total frustration after that huge giveaway in front of the net. And meanwhile, over on the other side, Mike Jefferson is tangling with the Kingston Frontenac.
Well, just a terrible giveaway by Steve Galacci on the play. Had the puck behind the net, threw it out in front right onto Rob Mailloux's stick, and Corey Batten did not expect such an occurrence and was not ready, and Mailloux, being the sniper he is, buried the chance and put the Kingston Frontenacs in front by a score of 3-0.
Oliveira working on the near corner. Both teams at full strength now as Moriarty's out of the box for St. Michael's. Franson sends it down deep as Batten will cover up. And with the score, Kingston 5. Well, we're going to hold on here as Jefferson and Franson are going toe-to-toe just off at the blue line. Jefferson just connected with a hard right hand to the chin of Franson.
Mike Jefferson is a wild man. Franson has a distinct height advantage on him, and someone is bleeding. There's blood all over the ice. Someone has been cut on this exchange.
As Franson has his jersey half off, and the linesmen step in to break this one up. So we'll clear things up when we return with the score. Kingston 5, St. Michael's 1. This is Majors hockey. To the new year, a pair of wins over Erie and the same Belleville Bulls just prior to the Christmas break, and then a pair of ties to Oshawa on the 28th and 1st of January. Now McMillan is going to rough it up a bit with Kevin Baker in a bit of a spontaneous eruption in front of Amadovsky. These two teams face each other quite a bit over the second half of the season. We won't see them again on Rogers Community TV until the 8th of March, as the linesman will step in as Baker was trying to throw some overhand rights, and McMillan accounting for himself well there. So that'll send these two pugilists off to the... Play is inside the Toronto zone as Amadovsky tried to play it off the boards. It's intercepted by Legwan. Legwan centering pass. There's a shot by Bouleris, who tried to refine his scoring touch there, but Amadovsky stoned him. Now Moriarty and the tough man Bouleris are going to go in back of the net as they have each other wrapped up in a headlock. This was sort of an inevitable battle as Moriarty wrestles him down to the ground.
Well, these are the two heavyweights on the respective teams. Gerald Moriarty, the designated policeman for the St. Michael's Majors, and Jesse Bouleris, a good, strong, tough player for the Plymouth Whalers.
As these two go off, we'll take a break. Plymouth up 3-2 on the St. Michael's Majors here on St. Michael's Majors Hockey. Minute and 51 seconds. They have Moriarty, Shapley on the ice as well. Now, Moriarty and Shapley are going to tangle for the second time in this game, right in front of the St. Michael's Majors goal. They circle off towards the circle. Now they're in the top of the slot as they're both trying to land some right hands. Shapley grabbing Moriarty's shoulder. Moriarty comes up with a right.
The two heavyweights here, Bill, both these players lead their respective teams in penalties. Shapley has a distinct size advantage. All these guys are the pizza monsters. He shakes off the right glove. They wrestle to the ice, and Moriarty looked like he might have gained the advantage briefly. Shapley's upset. He's mad at something. He wants more.
Now, no one likes to be wrestled down to the ice by their leading enforcer, and Shapley taking exception. Both these fighters are going to go off to their respective dressing rooms. But as I was mentioning, with a minute 46 seconds left, the Majors really want Larry Shapley also on the ice for the Petes. Mike Martone flips it inside the Majors zone as Bujar Amadovsky plays it off. Andre Lakos working inside, but behind the net we've got Gerald Moriarty tangling with Larry Shapley. They've got the gloves off. These two have met before. Shapley and Moriarty. Moriarty trying to get his arm free to throw some overhand rights. Shapley puts a big bear hug on the Majors enforcer.
Well, Gerald Moriarty got a couple of shots in there, but now Shapley's coming back with the left and the right.
Yes, Shapley, who is a few inches taller than Moriarty, got his hands free and started hitting Moriarty on the back of the head. They're still tangling. They're not quite punched out yet. Now the linesmen are going to step in.
A lot of punches lined into that fight from very close quarters. The two were basically locked in mutual bear hugs, but Shapley, a big, strong guy for the Peterborough Petes, and Gerald Moriarty, the designated tough guy for the St. Michael's Majors. He is their policeman, no question about that. He established himself as a OHL enforcer, and never seen such a big team.
Play is inside the Toronto zone. Hartle tried a shot from the slot area, and Amadovsky made the save. Now Amadovsky will cover up the loose puck at the side of the net, and the message continues as we've got a couple of good ones happening here. We've got Mike Jefferson tangling with John Brio, while Phibbs is having words in front of the net with Stanfield. The referee breaks that one up, but the main event right now has to be Jefferson and Brio.
Well, this is a wild fight. Jefferson and Brio, as Brio's just flailing away. The sweater's almost off. Boy, that Mike Jefferson's feisty, Bill. Look at him go.
And Jefferson now trying to pound him on the back of the head, wrestles him down, Now the linesman will break it up.
Jefferson just wailing with the right as they go to the ice, and Jefferson's on top. And Mike Jefferson, one of the smaller players on the ice, but boy, is he feisty. And it's a good thing that other little scuffle between Stanfield and Phibbs broke up, because if the fight is deemed to be the second in the sequence, they're looking at 2-game suspensions.
But John Breau isn't really a fighting target for a guy like Mike Jefferson. He only has 4 penalty minutes on the year. He'll have 9 after this one.
And by Peterborough Pete standards, he's a veritable midget, just 6 foot, 180 pounds from Ennismore, Ontario.
I mean, they certainly size up. I mean, allowed 7 goals on 31 shots, and a couple of them were of that Harold Druken variety. Here's Druken again from just outside the blue line. Tees it up. But we're going to have a big fight now as Jefferson and Fisher are dancing at center ice. This is going to be a heavyweight brawl as Jefferson and Fisher grab each other's jerseys, and they're just wailing away at each other.
A lot of fist flying here, Bill. Sean Fisher and Mike Jefferson, a couple of feisty young OHL rookies looking to establish their tough guy credentials, and Fisher has lost the jersey. Jefferson's pretty well got it off, and rights and lefts landing. I think Jefferson's getting the best of this, Bill.
So far, they're still wrapped up. Linesman looking to break in, but a fist pops loose. Jefferson has laid a few good uppercuts in this battle, and he's still trying to throw them over the top now as Berehowski and Mike Pierce step in to break it up. This happening well behind the play as both the youngster from the Sarnia Singh, Mike Jefferson, and the defenseman Sean Fisher just dropped the gloves, took off the helmets, and said, "This is it."
Sean Fisher looks like a real wild man out there with the long hair and the sweater off and the bare arms.
And we'll as we pick up play inside the Toronto zone. Ulleris in back of the net, tangling with Jan Salcher. Now we've got another battle happening now between Sean Murphy going toe-to-toe with Jamie Lalonde. This one just sort of spontaneously erupted. 2 fighters in front of Bujar Amadovsky now at the right face-off circle as they spin around, and now Murph will wrestle along to the jack.
We'll give the decision to Sean Murphy. Lalonde lost his helmet, was knocked down by Murphy. Murphy got more punches in as well. So this game getting kind of feisty. The team's rather pumped here. Sean Murphy taking on Jamie Lalonde, so they'll get the gate, and I'm pretty sure they'll get 5 minutes for fighting each as well.
Oh, this Plymouth team is certainly not afraid of the rough stuff. They've got at least half a dozen players with 60 penalty minutes this season or more. Leading the way, Jesse Bulleris, who was also on the ice at the same time, was involved in a little altercation with Gerald Moriarty earlier. He leads the way with 102, but you take a look, Andrew Taylor, who has 15 goals this season, also has 76 penalty minutes.
Well, we see Sean Murphy in the top left part of the screen, just out of the screen momentarily now. And the fights, there's the fight. Sean Murphy and Lalonde mixing it up along the boards. You see them go down. Murphy getting a couple of early shots in, would later get the helmet off. And
send it ahead for Bulleris. Went too far as Murphy collects the puck and plays it off the boards, looking for Walsh. Passmore inside his own zone. Cross ice for Chelios. Now we're going to have Rideout, and I believe this is Brian Walsh, who has no business really dropping his gloves. Going at it, and Rideout just well overmatches the youngster, the 3rd-round draft pick of the majors.
I don't even know if you can give Ryan Walsh a fighting penalty on that play. Mark Rideout, a very aggressive fighter. They're both rookies, but Rideout clearly got the better of that scuffle. I don't know if Walsh was complete.
Now Batten comes under some early pressure. There's a couple of quick shots there by Purdy. Now here's Gouldy from the circle. Tried to go short side, went off a body before it reached the net. Purdy with the wraparound now as Batten tries to pounce on it. Puck comes loose as Purdy goes to the corner, and now we're going to have Gouldy going up against Chris Cava.
Well, Eric Gouldy has a distinct size advantage over Chris Cava, the rookie for the Toronto St. Michael's Majors. And Eric Gouldy, this guy just can't get enough of the scrapping. He's been looking to pick fights all game long, but Cava really hanging in there with Eric Gouldy. He's got his right arm in a bit of a lock, and Gouldy, the bigger guy, just can't seem to get free, so Cava basically tying him up.
So Gouldy dancing for the 2nd time in this hockey game, along with Cava, will go to the box. And we'll probably be playing 5-on-5 when we return. Plymouth up 7-3 on the St. Michael's Majors here on Rogers and the Fan 590. once again, it's a 3-goal hockey game.
That was a heads-up play by Marcin Snida, the former Sarnia Sting player, Polish-born player. Great play by Marcin Snida to see Ryan Robichaud driving the net and did not waste any time getting the puck to him.
Now Bullaris is going to go into action this time against Troy Turek down in the corner. These two can go. Turek taking a couple of hard rights to the hands, gets to the head rather, gets back up, starts throwing right as the two wrestle each other down.
Boy, that was a wild fight, Bill. Bullaris landed a hard left, but Turek hung tough, and the smaller player, Turek, still managed to wrestle Bullaris to the ice.
And Bullaris still wants a piece of Turek as he was all set. The beginning was starting to push and shove with Marcin Snida.
Bullaris is exchanging angry words with a linesman, and boy, is he upset. The line, he actually almost took a shove at the linesman. Didn't quite connect, but he's got bone to pick with the linesman as he storms to the bench. He's slamming the glass. He's pulled his shirt off. In fact, he's stepping on his shirt. Now he threw his stick in the St. Michael's side. Bullaris is out of control here, Bill. He's going to the dressing room.
And he is one upset young man.
Took his hockey stick and threw it into the St. Michael's penalty box. It's now being handed back to the Plymouth penalty box.
And it's that plus 20 stat that you really have to be impressed with. Just shows great two-way play. Wazilko from the hash marks will drift a wrist shot on Corey Batten. And now we've got Lalonde and Jefferson set to go. Jefferson drops the glove. Lalonde doesn't really know what hit him just yet. This is actually Ryan Robichaud going after Lalonde as Robichaud just sort of spontaneously erupted.
And there goes Robichaud's helmet as we get a look at his new circa 1968 Bobby Orr haircut. He's got the brush cut going.
And he wrestles Lalonde down to the ground. Now we're going to break it up with 8:13 left to play here in the third.
Boy, this is a hard game on the linesmen. They've been doing nothing but breaking up fights all game long, and Robichaud staggers back on his heels, and there's a look at the brush cut. Ryan Robichaud, the 19-year-old veteran OHLer, came to the St. Michael's Majors from the Guelph Storm in the dispersal draft as he goes to the penalty box. And who's this? Big number 14, yes, Jamie Lalonde, of course, taking his place in the rather crowded Plymouth Whalers penalty box.
Lalonde
up before, and he's been aiming for this team as he's developed through the CompuWare system.
Steve Galacci will lay it up along the near boards for Katsouris, but Mike Jefferson has just pounced on Brian Passmore down on the near side and is just pummeling him with punches. The linesman quick to break in that one as looked like Jefferson just came around his back and dumped him.
Well, Bill, we're going to have to make a decision here. We have Rob Schusterman helping him.